Life was not dissimilar to a box of chocolates. You never knew what you were gonna get. In one chocolate, there would be a mother too drunk to give a shit about her kids. And in the next, there was a little boy wondering if today his mother would be too drunk to give a shit about him. So decades later, here I stand with a rusted shovel in my anxious hand, trying to dig up the fire-mitigated trees of my past, to pull this tangled mess of dirt and ropes and root and ash from beneath the layer of coping mechanisms and denial and loneliness and heartbreak and healing and anxiety and depression and grass, so that I can examine the rest of that box of chocolates. The ones that I didn't have the stomach to eat, that I placed in the back of my closet because I was too scared to discard them and even more scared to leave for someone else to find, because I was worried what the other kids would think if they knew the truth, if they somehow found out that my mother wasn't just acting weird like I had told them before we went out to play in the bluffs, but that she was actually a creative and loving mother with a heart of pure gold. Well, pure gold when the river was running, but pure alcohol when her overcompensating depression turned that river into a landscape of drought. And who would binge drink enough vodka to get as close to death as she possibly could before passing out. And I remember creeping into my parents' bedrooms and peering around the corner of that bulky wooden bed frame to see if her eyes were shut or if maybe she was just dead. But at a minimum, I needed to see if she was gone enough for me to tippy-toe in on my tiny little feet and pour out the rest of her booze and hide the keys. And I knew what the consequence would be. I knew that she would lose it when she woke up to see that the love of her life, that 1.75-liter bottle of the cheapest vodka that Pioneer Liquor had to offer, was no longer by her bedside. Because while she was just a few ounces away from death, one of her two little boys had stolen it away, had crept in on his tiny little feet and force-fed its contents to the stainless steel throat of the kitchen sink. And when I was old enough to start processing what I could see, when I was 12 years old, I wrote a story for a school assignment and I titled it Vodka. It wasn't a hit. The principal called my dad because they weren't sure if they should call Child Protective Services. And maybe they should have, but I remember that my father was pissed. And even though I had backpedaled and told the school administration that I embellished the story a bit, that it was mostly creative writing, more fiction than fact, I had still nearly caused a major incident. I didn't embellish the story though. But if you're a middle school teacher, you just never can believe the things kids say, or the shit that you read, or the shit that people tell you. But they told me that I couldn't make it alone and I didn't. So sometimes they're right. I've needed so much help along the way that I've lost count. I've burned the list of people who pulled me out, of the flames when I was stuck, and I was so closed off that they never even knew what they were rescuing me from. And I want to sing outside their windows till they throw open the sash and notice that my wings, once white with youth, are now painted in pure black, commemorating my inability to open myself up, to say thank you. Thank you for leaving a few good chocolates in the box.